Venezuela.
It holds the largest oil reserves in the world, and yet, the people of Venezuela are living through one of the worst economic disasters in modern history. Hyperinflation in the millions, a collapsing currency, severe shortages of food and medicine, and long lines just to get fuel.
Aquí lo que uno trabaja es para día a día. $50 es lo que a ti te pagan semanal. No te cuesta ni para pagarte un arriendo, ni para tú ayudar a tu familia, ni costearte.
It may seem illogical. How can a country floating on a sea of oil be drowning in poverty? The answer isn't about the oil itself, but how that wealth is managed. This is the story of what economists call the resource curse, and Venezuela is one of the clearest modern examples. The resource curse isn't just a textbook term. It's a recurring pattern seen in countries rich in natural resources, but poor in governance and institutions. When a country becomes heavily dependent on a single resource like oil, gas, or minerals, that resource becomes both its greatest strength and its greatest vulnerability. Fast money from resource exports tempts governments to overspend without building a real productive base. Sectors like agriculture and industry decline. Education, scientific research, and entrepreneurship are neglected. The economy becomes tied entirely to global commodity prices. When prices rise, the budget thrives. When prices collapse, the state collapses with it. In such an environment, corruption flourishes. Oil, when channeled through non-transparent institutions, becomes a political tool, a weapon of control rather than a driver of growth. Venezuela is a textbook case. At the start of the 20th century, with the discovery of oil, Venezuela transformed from a modest agricultural country into one of the wealthiest nations in Latin America. By the 1970s, it was hailed as a successful oil state, with massive revenues and relatively advanced infrastructure. By the late 1990s, Hugo Chavez rose to power with the promise of redistributing wealth to the poor and achieving social justice. When Chavez died in 2013, he passed the presidency to Nicolás Maduro, who inherited a fragile and brittle state. Under Maduro, the crisis became fully visible. Oil prices crashed in 2014. The government could no longer meet its spending needs. Corruption was rampant. Foreign currency reserves began to vanish. Then came U.S. sanctions, adding another layer of pressure.
Today's actions is the next step towards freedom for the Venezuelan people.
Venezuela lost access to global oil markets, and its companies were financially isolated.
Nobody can use economic and financial measures to impose their political will over a country. Economic war, pressures, and blackmail are illegal. They ratify an imperial road of aggression.
Oil production collapsed from around 2.5 million barrels per day in 2013 to under 700,000 by 2025. The national currency lost nearly all its value. Millions of Venezuelans fled the country, escaping hunger, medical shortages, and a total loss of hope. What makes the resource curse so dangerous is that it isn't a natural curse. It's the result of human decisions. The same wealth that brought crisis could become the key to recovery if managed wisely and transparently, within a system that holds leaders accountable and ensures fair distribution of revenues.